What's up, everybody? Welcome to Xbox Nation Podcast. I've got a very good panel lined up tonight. Some very special guests and some guests that you guys know all too well, whether you like them or not. I have the Mooch here for all the Mooch Maniacs. Yes, say what's up,
Yes.
Mooch.
What's up, everybody? Glad you're here.
Yep, and I have Rand back as always. He likes doing the rounds, and we're not going to ask him about his gamer score today. How you doing, Rand?
What's going on, Crap?
Not much. We got Iron Wolf back this week. How's it going, Iron Wolf?
Yeah, what's up, Crap? Glad to be here as always.
All right. We got my brother, Hellhammer. What's up, bro?
Not much.
And we got two special guests. They do some kick-ass podcasts. We have Gamers Know Best and his wife, Desert She-Wolf, who does some graphics and does her own podcast, Console Corner. What's up to both of you? Welcome.
What's up, Crap? Thanks for having us on, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Thanks.
Oh, no problem. You know what? I was listening to your guys' podcast yesterday. You had Mooch on there, and even though Mooch was like, when he was closing out, I was like, he's gonna mention that we're doing Xbox Nation tomorrow night, and then nope.
No,
He says Crossfire.
this show does not need an introduction, Crap.
He goes Crossfire on Friday, and we got BGST Sundays on Zaire's channel. I was like, that son of a bitch. I was like, man,
Crap's all in the corner being like, oh, man.
I was like, damn it.
God
Come
damn.
on, Mooch.
He was too thrown with the whole iMooch hashtag.
Yes, that
Yeah,
was
he was.
fantastic. That came up last night. Shout out to Zaz. Nice work, buddy.
Dude, you know what's so funny is Mooch. Like, I was listening to it very intently. I'm playing Forza because, you know, you can't snap anything, no music-wise or anything. I had some earphones in, I was listening to it. And then, like, you did that thing again where you're like, you're not wrong. I agree with you, but here's why you're wrong. And I just fucking like, you can
I
take
did
it.
hit him with that.
Yeah, like, you're not wrong.
Piece, right?
Yeah.
I like what you gotta start a little bit different. You gotta say, I see where you're coming from, but here's where you're
Yeah.
not seeing it right.
Yeah, here's where you're exactly wrong. Let me just tell you.
I just went head to head with Adam Kozik from Machinima / his Patreon site, the No or whatever it is that he's on now. Me and him were just arguing on Twitter. Listen, I try to argue with everybody. My intent on these shows is to literally bring down every sack of shit in the media I can possibly do. And he's just one of the pegs I've got to go. And the fact that they're actually replying to me, it means that they know that I'm coming after them. And I'm just waiting for somebody who's actually got a lot of money to actually say, you know what, Mooch, we'd like you to host this show. That
The jig is up. We know what's going on.
Absolutely.
Did you have to block that one dude who kept going on and on about?
I
that?
did, just, you know,
And-
but yeah, the game list, and he's been bugging me since Saturday. Wrath and a bunch of other guys that follow us online know this. And I really didn't want I love blocking people, but I didn't want to block him because I actually felt for the guy. You know, I thought that, but he's between his awful English. I mean, I had to I wrote this. I had to break out my Ovaltine decoder ring to figure out what the fuck he was saying.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, and then he puts out a list of games from the PS4 that are just like, you know, wacky, batacky, chopsticky. And I was
Yeah.
like, I don't want to buy that stuff. Nobody wants to buy this stuff. So
He likes niche
that-
titles, which is fine.
yeah, like
but it's like
Nemo.
that, yeah, Neo or whatever. He's like mad because I didn't know what the hell it was. Right? I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know what it is. You know what I mean? I've never heard of it. It's not my thing. If you like it, that's great. But for the majority of people, they're not buying a PS4 for that. Just like the majority of people aren't going to buy an Xbox for iDarb. You know what I mean? Or
Right.
you know what I mean? These are like niche titles and things like that. But real quick, there was some news today, which is cool because I was afraid we wouldn't have anything new to talk about. All Xbox One's dev kits. I think that's pretty huge. I mean, what do you? I mean, this could really open up a lot of developers. Probably a lot of shitty games. I can see like Reagan Gorbachev 2 getting made. Like,
You know someone's gonna make an easy 1,000 game that you pay
Yeah.
like $5
Oh.
for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
I
I need that
suffered
from a
through
gamer
it.
score.
I suffered through Roblox. I mean, you know what I mean. I can suffer through almost anything. I don't, you know what I mean. But I mean, what going around the room? What's your guys' thoughts on this? You think we're going to see a lot more decent games, indie games? You think people are, or we're going to get a lot of crap?
It's gonna be
Now,
crap. It's
could
gonna
I
be
just go-
literal crap.
All right, then. All I'm going to say about this, as a hardcore gamer, I don't really care about my console being a dev kit or having the ability to go on dev mode. Now, from a developer standpoint, this is huge. You get to code whatever game you want to code, even if it's a piece of trash. And if ID at Xbox certify your game, you can make a lot of money. Now, as
Yeah.
far as the background music goes, you know, I have that shit on my OG Xbox. I have that shit on my 360. I don't know why they're talking about background music on stage like it's anything new.
Yeah.
And besides, Cortana, I don't know. What else have I missed?
Well, they announced it, the Cortana thing, which is, I like that. I like the idea of Cortana, the background music. Here's the thing, and you're right, Wolf. Like, I remember on my original Xbox, I could burn a CD to the hard drive, and then on certain games, I could, like, queue up certain songs. I remember having, like, NFL 2K5, and it would queue up certain songs when I played the season. If I scored a touchdown or there was a fumble, certain songs would play. I remember having, like, some AC/DC pumping or something like that when I scored a touchdown, or Audio Slave was real big back in that day. So, yeah, like, they could do that. So, yeah, I agree with you. But people have been asking for this feature, so I can see why.
It's like the most requested feature, isn't it? Like one of the most requested features.
Well, it's moved up
in the
now.
top 6. It's in the top 6.
It's probably the way the system is structured itself. Like, nothing really runs in the background like it used to. I mean, I'm assuming if they could have background music there from day one, it would have been there day one. You know what I mean?
Every goddamn thing's an app. That's why.
Well, yeah. So I'm sure there's a good reason why it's not there, and it's one of those features Microsoft takes away, and then they like tout when they bring it back. You know what I mean?
Sort of like Madden. Sort of like Madden. They give you a new feature, right, 1 year, and then they take it away, and then they bring it back 2 years later, and they're like, "We're bringing this back."
Well, I
and
mean,
then
look at like what we've gotten so far in the preview program these first 3 months. They're all kind of features that we had previously that they had to take away because they had to rewrite the OS for the Xbox One.
Right.
We really haven't gotten anything new yet, but we will be getting newer stuff because they've kind of like caught up to where we were. As far as like the dev kit stuff, I mean, it's great for like any kind of like homegrown person who doesn't have the money to buy an official dev kit, because those official dev kits are pretty expensive.
Yeah.
As far as like the quality of games, I mean, come on, crap. Half the stuff that releases on an Xbox is garbage anyways. And now you're actually going to introduce like...
Can I make a comment? Just a quick
Yes.
one. If the devs are able to, say, use this on the Xbox One and whatnot, could that also open up possibly for then the preview games, like for us to actually try out more of these games?
No.
I don't think so.
No, that would require the source code in order to do that.
Yeah.
Did you see how easy it is to go into dev mode? You just click the thing and it's like dev mode activate. You know what I mean? It's like super. They made it really simple though.
I'm
I've
glad
already
they finally
tried it
did
out.
this because they got called out from a bunch of different outlets earlier this year, last year, about announcing that feature. Remember, because this is one of the first features they announced with the Xbox One at launch. How like every one of these systems, retail systems, would be a dev unit. And like there were people calling them out as liars, like, "Oh, it's not even here yet. What is it? 2 years down the road, and it's
Rand,
not
can
here."
I ask you a question though, Rand? How much does a dev kit cost if this wasn't an option?
Well, you see, here's the thing: like, you can actually get free dev kits if you sign up at ID at Xbox.
Right, but how much would it be? Let's just say you didn't know that, and you're like me and you, Rand. We're programmers. How much is a dev kit?
Shit, I'm not exactly sure. I want to say.
Guess high. Guess high.
I want to say it's $2,000, maybe $3,000.
Okay. Listen,
I don't
these
know.
are people that want to start a business, okay? I started my own when I was 21, and I've had 2 others since then. There's other... Listen, let's just talk simplistics, okay? If you want to open up a pizzeria, you need 2 Baker's Pride ovens that cost somewhere around $10,000 to $15,000 a piece new. You have to rent a place that's probably $1,500 to $2,000 a month. You're going to have to do first month, maybe security. Okay, so that's $4,000. Then you need odds and end restaurant equipment. Where I'm going with this is you're somewhere around $30,000 to open a pizzeria in your local neighborhood college town. Which is, by the way, ask anybody who opens a business. That's a very small price to pay to open your own business, especially a cash business. To these guys, and this is one of the things that really bugs me, and we talked about it last night on Console Corner, is the non-stop complaining of pennies that people complain about in the gaming industry. Okay, and it goes from the top to the very bottom. $2,000, okay, and if you hit it big, you could be making $100,000, $200,000 if everybody picks up your game. And Neho is picked up, okay? It's the game of Joust. Remember Joust, people? Okay, it's just Joust in 2016. So they're not geniuses. So $2,000 is a very small cost for anybody to get anything started. You can't say that you want to be an entrepreneur and $2,000 is too much. So, don't get me wrong, it's a neat option, and I'm not taking that away. That's great. You allow more people to be creative. The more time you give creative tools to people in their hands, of course, better things come. But can we really complain when it's a $2,000 dev tool? There's nothing else in the world you can start an entrepreneurship for $2,000. Nothing. Not even an ice cream stand is $2,000.
You're all fired up on this deal, Jesus.
Come on.
No, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Obviously, anybody, like any indie garage dev now can, if they don't have the funds or don't want to sign, the agreement with ID at Xbox, because I think you do have to do some sort of agreement if they give you the stuff for free. I don't think they just give it to you for free. It's always in exchange for something, whether it's timed exclusivity or whatever. So like any Joe Blow can now code a game, but I'm looking at it like, because Crap said the quality of the games themselves. I mean, if you already look at the games we're getting from it at Xbox, yeah, there are good ones, but there are also like a large amount of what I would call shovelware trash.
Yeah.
Right.
And now if you're opening up to anybody, like hell, Iron Wolf could fucking make a game called #Facts.
Hey, Hellhammer,
Right?
Hellhammer, like you guys,
know?
my brother Hellhammer created this game. It was like Pac-Man. There was this dude who we didn't get along with. Name was Connor. he made this game called Connor the Cock Goblin. It played on you could play it on PC, right? So this is my fear. I'm like, when are you gonna publish that shit on ID at Xbox? You know what I mean? Like, seriously, to me.
Hey, you could make a game like Flappy Birds and the world will go crazy.
Oh my god.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, though. I mean, I think I hear Mooch's opinion on that. I mean, that's true. I mean, if you want to get into something, $2,000, which I think actually the dev kits are like $1,500, but last I checked. I mean, you can sign up and get a free dev kit. Actually, I mean, I didn't read through all the. And
they loan you them, right?
Yeah, it's basically they loan it to you. You have to sign a contract, basically. If it comes back damaged, you have to pay for it, that kind of thing. You do have to already have a business and have at least 2 people that are working for you. You have to have an actual business name registered, and copyrights, and everything else in order to get it. I think that as a whole, I think that you're going to see a lot of so-so games. I mean, it's probably going to be like 95% to 5%. 5% okay to good games. The rest are going to be a bunch of crap. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think the more people out there that have access to be able to dev something is better.
I got a little bit of a different perspective on that though. Like, I was thinking like when they announced this, like think about all the schools out there that people go to school to learn like coding and building games and all that stuff. What if it's cheaper for them to get like a $300 Xbox One console. Now you have a bunch of students learning how to develop for the Xbox One, learning the console coming out of school. That could be a big thing for Microsoft in the future, being like a lot of these kids coming out, learning how to develop already on the Xbox One.
It's part of their strategy of being able of the whole like when you did the UWP, like being able to make a game and then sell it at any store anywhere essentially. I mean, they're going for the broad, huge reach with all this stuff, and just opening up how many Xbox Ones are there in the world right now? 22 million, maybe.
25 million. Let's say 25.
Ain't no 25 million. It's less than that.
Hey, look. I can't be down because we've got you, Rand.
Oh.
So there
I'm just saying. So we'll go with yours. So there's an extra 25 million now dev kits essentially out in the world.
Yeah.
It's cool. Like, I'm not going to use it. Number one, 'cause I don't know how to code, and I imagine like 90% of people playing Xbox One would have no clue. I'm sure there's some people out there would like to dabble with it, and it's that comes out of something. But like, I have one friend who's like, he kind of knows what he's doing with coding. He's like, I'm going to code a game. It's going to be $5, and it's going to be a game you can get 1,000 points in a minute. And boom, done. Can you imagine if they do that? I mean. I know that's just like the achievement, but like a lot of people, that'd be an easy way to make a lot of money.
Yeah. Well,
you know what? Like, out there that would buy that stuff.
Years ago, I wanted to do something like that. Like, I used to talk with my brother about it. I was like, hey, let's make a game and just like advertise it as like call it the worst game and just make it like a bunch of shit that people hate. Like, what did we used to say? We used to call
escort mission.
Yeah, escort mission after escort mission. It's like, like bad checkpoints and save points and things like that. And I think that people would probably buy it just because there's a lot of hipsters in the world right now. You know what I mean? Like, people like to play things that are bad or if they're so bad they're good. You know what I mean? But I digress. The real thing that I want to talk about today is these rumors that won't go away, which is like the PS4.5 rumors, which this new one came out. NeoGAF, not exactly the smoking gun, but according to this NeoGAF report and rumor, the actual PS4.5 is going to have a GPU that's 2 times as powerful as the one is now, possibly a CPU upgrade as well, and they're saying a 4K Blu-ray player, 4K streaming capability, and $399 to $499 price point. I
don't think that's going to happen at that price point for 2 times the power of their GPU currently. There's no way.
Well, here's the reason why I don't particularly believe this one, and then we'll go around the room and hear what you guys think. They said no trade-in. Sony has no deals for trade-ins or upgrade trade-ins or anything like that. Like, they're not going to offer any kind of manufacturer trading or anything like that. And then it went on to say that there would be significant, difference between the PS4 standard edition games and this one, right? Like, there would be, like, you would definitely be able to tell, like, the regular, like, 36 or 37 million PS4 owners right now would have really shit versions compared to this. Probably wouldn't even run that good, apparently. So, I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on this? I mean, this shit seems like it won't die. Mooch, I know you're all for it. Like, to me, I think traditional consoles are dead. I think we are going to see some kind of upgraded consoles come out soon. But I think Microsoft has, real quick, I think Microsoft has the advantage here because they have the, what is that, the UWA?
UWP.
Right? Yes, right? Which means they even came out and said today that they can scale their games on anything with this. Backwards, forwards, phones. You can play, a developer makes one version and they can put it on anything that they have.
Well, that right there, Crap, is the one thing, going back to our very first discussion when we went live, that was actually the big thing from the Build conference that I took away was, and I think that was when someone, because Iron Wolf said it himself, he was like, there's this and that, and so what, and I agree with Wolf, but the big thing that we didn't really discuss was the fact that we will be getting all of these Windows apps now on our console, which, don't get me wrong, as a gaming show, not a lot to talk about there, but as far as making this product maybe more wanted in everyone's living room, it's very much a big deal. But let's stay on topic with the PS4 thing. Listen, I think this is interesting. I really do watch and I follow. His name's Paul. He runs Red Gaming Tech. It's a British known.
He's British.
Yes. He's British.
He's very British.
The British just sound more intelligent, so
they
I
do.
like that.
Anything that a British person says automatically sounds
like a British
than...
guy just says, "I'm sitting here watching paint dry," and I'm like, "That's very sophisticated."
It's very sophisticated.
I'm gonna, so I listen. I do listen to him more often, and he's been spot on. He's really good with tech. He is a pony, so we got to take that. I've talked to him back and forth, and we haven't blocked each other, so that's a plus. But he's a good guy, but he hasn't been wrong when he gets to his tech. Now, let's get to the point at hand. The point at hand is that I think we may be turning a corner. This is a bit of speculation here. There is something we all know. We all agree on the panel that these consoles came out underpowered day one, okay? That doesn't mean that they're not fun. It doesn't mean we can't enjoy them. This may be a time where we see something change. We went from a drastic 7-9 year gap, right, which we all agree now that, or most of us will agree, was too long. And now we're going to go to a 2.5, 3 year cycle, which could very well be too short. But at the same time, because these consoles came out underpowered, we're not going to, and Phil said this at the Xbox One Windows 10 event back in February, that he wants to do something where, yes, we're going to have to, when, I don't know, we're going to have to purchase another box, and then after that you don't have to keep purchasing a box every 3 years because that's very expensive for them and for us. You'll just be able to do something external, very similar to your external hard drive right now. So am I excited for it? Kind of, because if Sony does it, Microsoft's going to do it. Now, the part that I was talking to you guys offline about, and I mentioned it a little bit last night on the Console Corner, is that what excites me is if I'm working for Microsoft, if we do anything, if Microsoft donated $50 million to some goodwill, the gaming media would somehow be like, that goodwill is against blank, and we hate that you gave them that money. Everything Microsoft does is bad. So what's nice here, and Crap, you said this, let's let Sony go out for once and get the green slime on their head and see what happens. Microsoft can very easily run into production. They've already got a Slim and everything ready to go. It's not going to overheat anymore. They know all the mathematics and the numbers. They figured all this stuff out right now. Whether they take their NDA chip that they have with, oh, God, help me here. Who made their chip for them? AMD. Okay, you take that chip, and they either, because we were talking to Tim Dog was saying that you can't necessarily just up the ESRAM, it's embedded in the chip. Well, you could very easily go into the chip production, because they've been making these, and you say, listen, I want to up my ESRAM. You can up that to the nth degree and get this thing up to snuff with whatever Sony's going to do and make this thing really fast. My point, other than that, is that you've opened up the box. If this happens, Sony has made a tremendous, tremendous mistake. Not only have they really hurt and affected the 40 million people that are current owners, that it may have to go out and repurchase a console. That's one thing we'll get into, and the panel will kind of get into that.
They're kind of pissed off. I've seen some of that.
Yeah, they are. But my big thing, though, Crap, that I just want to say on the record is that you've literally woke the sleeping giant, which is Microsoft's wallet. Now they can open the box because Sony opened their box. Now they have permission, because the media is going to run with it, they have permission to go in and change the chipset. Because Sony's changing the chipset. They're changing what's in the box. And it's not hard, and I'll have Hellhammer and I'll have Rand tell me if I'm right or wrong. It is not hard for them to up the current chipset to something much more powerful that will run, okay, semi-cozy with what we have currently on our vanilla Xbox Ones and vanilla PS4s. They can do this with what we currently have.
Hey, Hellhammer,
that's my shtick.
Hellhammer, let me ask you something. If they just were to up the GPU, what performance increases would we see with potential slims?
I mean, potentially quite a bit. I mean, here's the thing, right? I mean, if you follow any kind of tech thing, I mean, they're using AMD CPU, APU, the combination of the both. I mean, you got AMD is touting right now for the PC market, anyways, their next generation of architecture, the Zen architecture, which is supposed to be putting it on a much higher clock rate or much more instructions per cycle rate, at least from the CPU side, which could potentially boost, quite a few frames in a lot of more demanding games like Witcher, that sort of thing. I mean,
interesting.
They could easily add an extra two cores, extra two graphics compute cores or something like that. Honestly, I would like to see them do separate CPU and a separate GPU chip on the board rather than
it wouldn't be. Even if they went with the 2 times the GPU, like the rumor is, with the faster clock speed, they still wouldn't be able to hit native 4K resolution, right?
No,
they're still nowhere close.
Yeah,
like 1440p or something like that.
1080p 60 frames, right, Hellhammer? That's what's really interesting. If we can get to 1080p 60 frames with these Slims that are going to, let's just call them the Slims. If the Slims come out this year, end of this year, early next, if we're able to obtain that, you're going to have a lot of satisfied customers. All we really want is that lock 60 frames and guarantee us the 1080p. I don't think either of these are hitting 4K gaming.
Yeah, well, not this generation anyway.
This generation isn't 4K, and this is basically why, right? Most, even PC gamers, like hardcore PC gamers, most of them don't have a rig that can run 4K. And consoles have always been, or at least since the 2000s anyways, about, one step behind pretty much in PCs as far as performance. So PCs right now, almost all of them are comfortably running, 1080p 60 frames at a relatively decent price point. So I see, us hitting 1080 probably by the end of the year if they could do something 1080 60.
So you just real quick. So what you're saying is like these Slims might not have like the end all be all. Like a lot of people are just jumping to conclusions like 4K, 4K, 4K. But in reality, you're probably more or less looking at just machines that could probably do 1080p 60 on most things, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at something that can run what we have already, or what's basically going to come out already, what we know about, at a better resolution, and probably a little bit, they might have a little bit buffed, texture rate or similar.
Okay. Go ahead, Rand.
I mean, this actually, I'm trying to look at it from the sense that if Sony's doing this, then I would gather Microsoft had heard about it too, and
they've got insiders inside.
That's why
of each
they're doing it too,
thing,
because you can't have one do this where like now. I mean, the Xbox One is less powerful than the PS4. I mean, we've talked about this before on not only Crossfire but as well as here. Like this gen, the conversation's all about resolution. It's always news article when a multiplayer comes out, and it's like, here's the resolution on PS4, here's the resolution on Xbox One, and it's always the Xbox One version is the worst of the two for.
Or has less grass, or less fucking.
Right. I mean, for obvious reasons, like
sand.
It is what it is.
Sand. Yeah.
But if they're both doing it, like if Sony's coming out with this brand new one, which I'm going to say it's bold because they're market leader, right? They're like the second best-selling system launch-aligned ever, essentially.
Outside of the Wii, which really...
Yeah, and they're, I mean, obviously where there's smoke, there's fire, and that guy who posted on NeoGAF got mod permission first. He had to verify everything before he posted it. You can't just post something like that in Neo. I mean, because if he didn't, that thread would have been locked and he would have been banned. That's how they usually handle that stuff. But because now you give Microsoft a chance, like Mooch said, like to essentially match the features of PS4.5 with Xbox 1.5, and now the power argument's out the window.
Yeah.
And then it could essentially become more about the games themselves, and because look at Quantum Break, right?
Could save the industry.
I don't know if it could save the industry, but I mean, just look at Quantum Break for the last couple weeks. What have people been talking about with Quantum Break? Not the game, but the resolution shit, right?
Power.
But if the Xbox One or 1.5 was better, or if the PS4 if they were basically the same, all the games ran the same. Digital Foundry doesn't need to exist, or they would need to exist just for simple facts, like here's the resolution, here's the frame rate, but they wouldn't be taking sides in console wars because the games would be the same. So then all the conversation, instead of being about resolution, you come about to the games themselves, which is what I want, because I don't care about the resolution. I do care about the frame rate. I care about the game. I don't care that Quantum Break is running at 720p. I care that Quantum Break is a great game. Whether it's a great, you know what I'm saying? And it's funny that, like, because I was of the opinion, I'm like, they'll never do this. But I think the bigger question, though, let's hypothetically assume this is true, right? That this which seems like it, the PlayStation 4.5 is coming out, and I think he said, what, Q1 next year?
Q1 of next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say Microsoft is doing the same thing, Q1 next year. Is this essentially the signal of this is it? This is the end of any console. Like, from now on, it's not Gen 9 or Gen 10. It'll be every couple of years you upgrade. There essentially is no PS5.
Well,
or
did
PS6
you follow that
or
Z
any of the other
guy?
stuff?
Do you follow? Okay,
He
so
said it was more about evolutionary.
Yeah, he said it was evolutionary consoles. That it's all about the games and the OS are actually the important thing, and so that they're building that. That's what's important, not so much the platforms themselves. Which I guess I can kind of see that. You know
I
what
get
I mean?
it, but people in the people have been dealing with it on the PC. They understand that concept, right? But console gamers, they only it's been NES, Genesis, 64, GameCube. Wii, it's a set piece that works for 5 or 6 years, and then you get another one. Yeah. Right now, you're introducing console gamers to the idea of.
I know the Nintendo Genesis was my favorite. So
you're biting right now.
Got Robo Crap.
Crap your microphone.
Yeah.
But you know what though, Rand? Here's the thing though, Rand, and I understand what you're saying with content. I grew up through all that. But people with phones, okay? We had rotary, then we had push button, then we had portable, then we had mobile, then we had touchpad, then we had screen touch, then we had glass touch, and pretty soon we're going to have transparent. What I'm trying to say is, listen, everybody who is part of an older generation will always argue. It is time to say this. Maybe they will falter. Maybe something in the upcoming future won't be right. What do? They get back up and they fix it, you hope anyways. My point here is that whatever is coming down the pipe, we can't wait 7 years anymore in a static box. We just can't do it anymore.
No, you're right, and I agree. But, I mean, the big difference is phones are ubiquitous. You need a fucking phone.
But here's where you're wrong, Rand. They're starting to give you these boxes because you, quote-unquote, need them for your entertainment. That's why Sony's got the View and TV commercials.
Yeah, you can get a TV with fucking Netflix and Hulu built in. You don't need an Xbox.
I understand.
You don't need a PlayStation.
I know, but you don't need an iPhone. You don't need a Samsung S7. You don't need those either.
No, you
have
don't.
One.
But you do need a cell phone of some who?
No, yeah, you need a cell phone.
Right, but people still
don't buy a
upgrade.
cell phone. They upgrade. You don't understand. These are supposedly going to do what the mother and father want in the household, in Netflix, etc. But it also has a feature that their children like, which is games. Okay, and this is real, and you can't say it's not working. We've got collectively somewhere around 65, 70 million of these units out this generation. So, the people are buying them, and they know that people will go out and buy them again. All we do on these shows is we complain for about 3 weeks, and then we're like, here, take my money. So, right, and they know that that's coming.
Can you guys hear me better?
I can hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah.
GKB, Desert She-Wolf. I want you guys to jump in because I know you guys are probably like, holy crap, these guys just go back and forth. What the fuck?
No, this is a great argument, man.
We're well aware of mooch marathons. We enjoy them. And
What you got to do is you got to kind of double dutch in. Like it's difficult to get the hang of because Mooch will just he'll get on his tantrum, man. It'll just be like
I do, man. I get heated.
That's why we're hey Mooch. Did you
What?
see did you just real quick and then I'll get GKB and She-Wolf's thoughts on this. Did you see the video that IGN tweeted out where the girl was playing VR and broke her fucking TV?
Yes, I retweeted it about 5 or 6
didn't she
times.
punch it?
She punched her TV. The TV and broke it.
Well, we called that.
Yeah.
Already.
Great.
That's gonna happen
Yes.
all the time.
That
So-
made my day.
So GKB, you and She-Wolf can give us your take. I mean, what's your thoughts on this? Because I heard you guys talk a little bit about like upgraded Xbox Ones and how you probably would get two. You have 4, right? And you said you'd probably replace 2 of them or upgrade 2 of them. But what about like the PS4? Like, how do you guys feel about this idea? Because I mean, these aren't exactly phones, but this could be something that could help the industry. Like, there's usually a lag down. The consoles sell really hot at start, and then they slow down a bit. Maybe a refresh every 2.5, 3 years could bring back really good excitement. If things are forward compatible, backwards compatible, the thing that I think that these companies have to stress would be your console's not obsolete. Like the ones we have, they wouldn't be obsolete. Like there's going to be obviously people that maybe would feel that way, but when you play like a multiplayer game, I'm going to assume that they're going to have everybody on an even playing field no matter what.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's your guys' thoughts on this?
My thought is kind of like what Hellhammer was starting to say is, like, when you look at the specs for the PS4.5, there's no way they're hitting that price point with those kind of specs. Not going to happen. As far as the upgradable or revisions go, I'm more of the mindset where Microsoft is possibly, selling you an upgrade. Because what I like is, I like to have a start of a generation, have a couple of years, be able to upgrade it, and then have a few more years with that. I don't want to go spend $400 or $500 on a console, and then 3 to 4 years later, I got to spend another $500 on a console. Yeah, there's that argument about the phones and this, that, and the other, but they do it differently where you can pay a monthly payment. You don't have to
A
spend.
lot of them have contracts too, so they get
exactly.
the phones.
Exactly, but I'm all for the upgrading, but I don't know, man.
You're flapped up. Well, let me just say this much, right? Like I'm so against the upgrade idea, but let me just say this. I don't know if it's something that you just plug in like like how I do with the external drives, like
Right.
next generation. Maybe I'll be ready for that at that point. Right now, I don't know that I'm ready for that. I'm gonna, probably unless they do something significant or it's a super sexy looking console, the Slim or whatever. I'm not sure that I would even bother to upgrade because most of the games are hitting where I want. And if you can't, since I play mostly multiplayer, if
Well,
they're
I'm
not
with
going
you,
to give,
Crap, too, man. I'm not into the whole resolution thing either, man. I just want the game to be good, just like what Rand said.
Yeah.
I just want a
that's
good
what
game.
games. And where are they? Like it was so funny because I wanted to be on your guys' podcast so bad. I was sitting
I
there
brought that
talking to
up.
myself. I was like, holy shit! I was like, you know what? Like She-Wolf was like, it's our fault, part of our fault that we don't have games because everybody trashes the games before they even release, and that's correct. We
Yep.
all do. We trash these games nonstop, and even I do it. Like people trash, that is bad because like that game has terrible box art. Fuck it, you know what I mean? Or same thing with Quantum Break. It went from like how console gamers used to be like back in the day when I was young. If you had a Super Nintendo. You go, oh man, Sonic looks good. I wish I had that, but I got a Super Nintendo. And then the person with the Genesis would be like, I don't know, that Mario World looks good. That's how it was. Now it's just like, if it's on the competing platform, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like you die. Like it must suck. Like Quantum Break must be the worst shit ever. Uncharted 4, that's god awful. Who the fuck wants those games? You know what I mean? It's like that's the mentality people have, and it's fucking killing the industry. It's killing everything. It's killing the fun. It's killing the fucking everything.
Crap, listen, and this is the GKB. GKB, don't get me wrong, I completely understand where you're coming from. And don't
But
get me
here's
wrong.
why you're fucking wrong.
Right.
Here's why you're wrong.
Yes. That was awesome. But here,
Come on,
I
let's
like
tell
to
it,
do it. I like to
Mr.
do it. I like.
Mooch with
I'm
his
a little
rebuttal.
I'm a little bit more subtle than Crap, but the thing is this: I do understand where you're coming from. I do, and money is it's a big deal, right? But here's why you're dead wrong. No, literally, the thing is that we enjoy this. This is something we all enjoy, right? We get out every night. I see you guys. You're on my friends list. We enjoy playing these games. The fact that these companies are taking the effort and putting their money forward to do the R&D to bring you something 3 years, 4 years that's better for $300-400. Take $400 right now. And what's 365? 365 times 4 and then divide it by 400.
It's all about the price point.
Of a penny for your
it's all about the price. It's all about the price point, man.
Yeah, exactly. Just like GKB was saying, if there is going to be a PS4.5 or a PS4K, the one thing that will determine its success is the price point. Now, as far as the double powerful GPU goes, I could see this thing running at 1440p at the highest. Maybe even 120 frames per second, who knows? But even then, that's still going to be behind PCs. And if there is going to be a PS4.5, it'll have to be upgradable. Otherwise, this thing's going to fail at the gate.
The thing with 1440p, though, is like, if
it's
it
old,
would have to do,
1440p is old on PC. That's
yeah, but
thing.
You would have to have those specs that the PS4 4.5 leaks would have, but you're not going to get that price point. And then say they can hit 1440p, you're going to get the same situation that they have now. You're going to have crap frame rates and stuff with the current state of the console. So
I also think that the PS4.5 will probably be DirectX 12 ready too.
How are they going to use DirectX 12? Aren't they using Mantle?
Well, the thing is Mantle and DirectX 12 kind of go hand in hand with each other. Basically, they're two separate things, but they can technically use it. They can license it from Microsoft, and I'm sure Microsoft wouldn't have an issue.
Oh, they're a services group, guys. Come on, right?
They would most likely use it.
No, the equivalent to DX12 that Sony would use is Vulkan.
Vulkan is NVIDIA.
Is that only in NVIDIA? They talked about it, that Vulkan would be the PS4 equivalent. That's what they would try to use.
Because last I heard, that was the NVIDIA. The AMD was Mantle, which is the right to hardware programming. And
but
coding.
the problem is Mantle's not quite up to snuff yet with DX12, and Vulkan is. So just to get back to what I was saying, I did the very simple math, and a lot of ponies can't do this math. But it comes to 27 cents a day if every 4 years you were to change your console.
For just 27 cents a day.
For 27 cents a day, you're feeding your
times that by 4 for me, Mooch.
Yeah, that is true. You're by 4. You are by 4. So you're at almost 60 cents a day. For you and She-Wolf. The kids. We decided last night the kids are not getting new ones.
Right. Well, okay.
They don't need one. They're happy as long as it's bright, colorful, and they can run around. They're happy.
Who gets it in the household though? Like, if you guys pick up a 1.5 who's using it? You or
they're gonna get two. They're getting two. They're getting two.
Okay, see, the way that me and him usually debate things is, it's kind of who got the last newest thing. Like, I got the Halo console,
That's
so
fair.
he got.
Come on, guys, let's be fair here.
First.
It's
That
happy
is
wife.
very fair.
It's happy wife, happy life. So
she's getting the.
Then why did it take so long for me to get an Elite controller?
Uh-oh.
Oh, come on, you got the Halo console.
Oh, here we go.
How he brings that up? See, exactly. But
Wait, so wait, did GKB did he set this up intentionally? If the way you guys do it, because he knew this was coming, so he gives you the Elite last. That means he's in line for the 1.5 first.
Come on, Rand. Come on now.
Actually, in truth, we actually thought that there could have possibly been either a Quantum Break or a Tomb Raider collectors, which is what he kind of wanted more of. So.
Well, according to the insider, they kept messaging me nonstop, and now it's gone MIA. There was going to be Quantum Break ones, right? I mean, come on, and it's going to be called the Xbox Surface. We all know that.
Yeah.
I already
Oh
broke
my god, if
after
someone
a
ever
tablet
named it
makes
the
sense.
Xbox Surface, just needs to be smacked.
Dude, but crap, I think there's the bigger problem. I think it's not so much. I think people have a problem with the fact that there's going to be a new one coming out so soon. Right, but I think it's the information this guy posted that I think people will have a problem with. Is that where he said that we're given a list of games available at launch that will take directly advantage of the PS4 4K, where the difference are, and I will quote him, significant.
Significant differences.
Like
yeah.
the games for PS4.5
Weren't there a lot of
so
VRs? Like, there are VR games as well, though?
Yeah,
Mostly,
VR games
yeah.
and a couple, but he's just saying, like, God of War 4 would take advantage of this. And yes, God of War 4 will run on regular PS4, but the sacrifices made to get it running on the regular PS4 will be noticeable. That's the problem you run into. Because
they don't have the UWP.
Yeah.
Right, so, like, essentially, it's going to create, for lack of a better term, a ghetto like in the community itself, because
Nobody's going to admit to living in the ghetto, though.
Well, no, but you're going to have a situation between.
Everybody's going to be like, "No, dog, I got me that PS4.5."
You're going to have a situation of the
Yo,
haves and the have-nots, right?
I don't mean to go off topic right now, but big shout out to Jamie Moran. Have you guys just realized when Ashley Spicer, whatever her name is, she came out to demo the actual dev kit, she had a Mass Effect t-shirt on. So do you think that's kind of like confirmation that we're getting a marketing deal or some sort of exclusivity on content?
I had heard for a long time Mass Effect marketing deal was with Sony.
Did you hear that there was
a Mass Effect t-shirt though?
Rand, you said that, and since you've said that, there's been the gentleman that came over from BioWare to work with Microsoft,
Casey Hudson.
Casey Hudson tweeted out a picture of Shepard in the Microsoft Studios, and there's a lot of things. I totally believed you when you said it, but there's too many things that are coming out now that I don't think that's going to Sony.
To me, that kind of confirmed it that they have the marketing deal.
Can it? Well, I mean, the game's not coming out till next year anyway. But real quick, because I'm looking at this quote from the NeoGAF thing or whatever, and they're talking about the launch games for it. And they're like for PSVR, Eve, Valkyrie, blah blah blah. But it's like it's almost implying that God of War 4 would be a launch game for this, which I don't believe God of War 4 is anywhere close to being ready.
No. Well, they're if it's coming out next year, Q1, so we're talking about a year from now, right?
Yeah.
They're on a hiring spree. They're going like full production. It probably would be ready. I mean, here's the thing. I also don't believe when they say Q1 because nothing ever launches in Q1.
Yeah, PlayStation VR was supposed to launch Q1.
Because even when Patrick Klepek wrote the original blowout article about this whole thing, like 4.5K, he wasn't sure if it was coming out this year or if it was coming out the end of next year, right?
Yeah.
And he, from what I was reading, he's working on an article apparently that's gonna blow the whole story off. Like we're talking specs and everything. Like what's inside the system apparently is his next story he's working on. Like he has all the info.
I think next year would make more sense. I mean, because the thing is there's only so far you can go with the AMD platform right now, at least on the CPU side.
Plus, I mean, your hardcore fan base, they're going to be spending $500 for PSVR, and then you want them to spend another $400. I don't think it really makes sense.
$500.
I don't think it makes sense to launch it this year. I think launching it next year makes more sense.
Yeah. Hey, the good news is this could possibly kill PS4 sales until then, right? Like, who the hell is going to buy a PS4 for $350 if you can get supposed 4K HD and fucking boots and whistles?
Well, this also puts
it won't be 4K native. It'll probably be 4K upscale.
But this also puts the NX in a weird situation because the NX was going to come out and it was going to be more powerful than the PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah.
And now Sony and Microsoft are just like, nah, sorry. We have the new up
I like that Microsoft is taking the quiet route right now because right now Sony people are like, holy shit. Like I'm looking on M4G and there's articles like, can we trust Sony if they release another console so soon? You know what I mean? Like they're the console.
Oh yeah, I mean don't be mistaken. Looking at this thread that's not 100 pages long, there is easily 60-40 against this idea. Like there are people vehemently against the idea of because I don't think people are. I thought like, okay, so we get a PS4 or an Xbox One, we have 5-6 years with it, 7 years, and then we'll upgrade. And now what they see, it's like this gen hasn't even fucking. I think we talked about in the last podcast. But I still think this gen hasn't even gotten started yet. Where are the fucking games? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
And like all of a sudden, like now we're like already doing upgrades to the system already.
Like serious fact. Like, and I told this to Mooch. I said, dude, you have one PS4 game, and you would fucking buy another PS4, right? Just because it's slightly more powerful. And he's like, well, yeah.
Well, I mean, you say that you're gonna be behind me in line. My point is that
that's the funny thing. Majority of people actually do that. It does actually come back to the cell phones.
It does come back to the cell phones.
Man, I still have mine from two and a half years ago. My cell phone, man.
I have a Note 4. GKB just got the Note 5.
Yep.
And then the Note 6.
I'm rocking that Note phone, people. Come on. Nobody's living that widow's life like me, huh?
It's fun
Look
living.
all y'all.
Everybody wants the next best thing. It
Yes.
doesn't matter how many times you want to complain, scream about it, you're still going to want that next best thing.
Yeah,
It's the
but-
same way with the Blu-ray
And-
when
but-
they came out.
But you can't, like with the phone, you can just go trade in your old phone and get a brand new phone for basically zero money down. All you got to do is just make the monthly payments. They ain't going to be doing that with the Xbox One and PS4. I mean,
but it's
according to that post, there's no trade-in program.
But
So
you go to
you hear what you're
GameStop,
saying, though,
trade it
Rand?
in for like, you wait for their highest point when it's like around holidays
yeah,
or
but you're
whatever.
you're never going to get. Like my point is, you can take your Apple phone, you can go trade it in to Verizon. They'll give you the brand new Apple phone for free.
Yeah.
You could just keep, but that's not going to happen with.
And then you only have to pay between $80 and $120 a month.
But there's nothing like that for Xbox or PlayStation.
But it doesn't matter. Xbox One, you go plunk $400 down, and there's $0 a month. It's just you play it.
Yes, but
Why does everyone not understand?
I agree. Hey, Mooch.
Monthly is still. If you want to look at it that way, Rand, go back to my thing. That instead of thinking of it as $400 out of pocket, it's 27 cents a month. Okay,
Hey,
like it's not, or a day. It's not that big of a deal. People make such a big deal about $400.
No, I'm not. Look, I'm not making a deal out of that. I'm just saying there's a reason why fucking people trade in their phones, and the reason why some people will be upset about this idea of the not being able to trade in the system and getting the new one for free.
Listen, the phones are cheaper, right? So like Jeep, KB, and Rand, you guys make good points. Let's leave the phones alone for a minute.
cheaper. What are
Let's
you
talk
talking
about
about?
this. Let's talk about cars, though. Why is leasing still the #1 thing in America? Why are people trading in $30,000 cars every 3 years? Because they're bored and they want the new fucking air-conditioned seat that takes care of their balls. Like, I don't know why people trade in their cars after 3 years. Like, they still work, right? Why are you doing that?
I agree with you, but I'm saying like how much if you wanted to buy if you wanted to buy a new Apple phone like without a contract, how much is it? $700?
I think it's $700.
That's way more expensive than a PlayStation or an Xbox
$650 to $850 if you want to buy one, depending on what storage size you want.
And look, I mean, the guy says they don't know it. I mean, I don't know how they would know if they don't have a trade-in program a year out.
That's what I'm
It
saying.
would be.
Yeah.
I would assume you could trade in. Like, look, I have a 360 and I have a One, right? Like, if say the Xbox 1.5 comes out this year, I'll fucking just trade in both of those things, and I'll get whatever I get for it, $300 out of and spend the extra $100 to get the system because I don't need the 360 anymore. It's just sitting there collecting dust now. And what do I need an old Xbox One for if I'm getting the upgraded version, right?
That's right. And your old games play on your new one.
Yeah, and all my games are on my external hard drive. So if I just trade that in and
listen,
then get the new one.
They've done studies, guys. They know we're all going to do that. Now, crap, and it's fun hanging out with you because you are one of those. You're not an old guy, but you're an old soul. You know what I mean? Like you like holding on to shit, and that's great. But the point of the matter is that like we're going to do that, and they know that. Apple proved it back from 2007. Every year they come out with something, they slap an S on it, and everyone's standing in line starving.
I'm gonna throw my take out here. I think that personally, I think that upgrading would be kind of a cool idea. I think that if they do something this year and they don't have, if they do like a Slim or something and they try to do something like the PS4.5 or the Xbox 1.5 or whatever the case may be, I think that would be kind of a mistake. They should hold off and release another generation that has a built-in inherent ability to upgrade directly onto that console itself, onto that hardware. Because here's the thing, even that way, if I'm gonna go have to spend every 2 or 3 years $400, I can go drop $500-600 right now, build myself an i5 computer, and drop $300-500 every 3 years on a graphics card. And run everything top of the line.
Right.
See, Hellhammer, this is the thing, right? If there's going to be a PS4.5 or a PS4K, and then we're going to get the NX, and both are going to be more powerful than the Xbox One, Microsoft cannot afford to be last when it comes to power.
Right.
But
the fact that they're more powerful.
Though, my biggest thing is Microsoft, with being as big as they are and how much money they have, and actually how many third-party companies they own.
Mm-hmm.
They have the means to create an amazing console. They really do, and to put it at an affordable price, like somebody said, they make how much billion just on Xbox Live alone?
It's like 2 to 3 billion, something like that.
Exactly. So for them to turn around and create a console that could be upgraded, like for instance, how we were talking about the Halo one, we also have a Forza one. I would have loved to be able to keep these customized consoles and just be able to upgrade it. Like, I don't want to trade in something like that. It's a collector's, but I don't want it to just sit there and collect dust either.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. If they do another console revision, you know, eventually like a next generation one, they put a slot on the back, they put, you know, they take AMD's eGPU system that they're going to be announcing probably later this year or early next year, along with the Zen architecture. That's where you're going to see a real difference in power. But with the way we're sitting right now, the IPC clock rates on the instructions per cycle on just the CPUs alone are what's helping bottleneck both consoles. And there's no upgrade on either side of those right now for either what. I can put in a better graphics card on an Xbox One if they had the slot. And guess what? That's still going to be bottlenecked by the CPU speed.
Hey,
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Tim Dog.
What up, Tim Dog?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, holy shit!
I wanted to make sure Crap was all right with all this news. Like,
Oh,
yeah.
I got him off the ledge.
Hey, Tim, I tell you what, man, like, Mooch, that motherfucker could sell me anything, man. He's all telling like, seriously, man, 27 cents a day, I'm gonna fucking put a jar out, I'm putting 20 motherfucking cents in.
Well, it's not even just that. What was it, Mooch? We have to agree with, what were we talking about last night? You go to a movie and you're spending $30 for two people, and then you're spending another $30 for a collectible popcorn dish and a cup.
Yeah.
Like, you're
And you have one drink afterwards, you're at $100, and it's a couple of hours.
Go to a baseball game. Try that.
Oh my
Are
God!
we sure this is Tim Dog and not Worrywart?
Oh, man.
No, I can't believe they're gonna really do this. It looks like it's really gonna happen, right?
Hey, Tim, I think, you follow Z Huge, right? Because, like, this guy is, like, a revelation lately. I know I keep pimping this guy's Twitter. Maybe I could get him on the show one time, because I saw that he did another podcast. But anyway, he said that this is all stuff that's going to supposedly try to save the industry, not actually destroy it. You know what I mean? And
I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, like, you can kind of, like, I can answer with that, right? Because, like I said, they're, like, things will start to slow down, right? We're a few years into it. Yeah, they could do slims and that would pick things up. But what really gets people excited is more power. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And check this out. And this is why I actually like this, regardless of whether I would do this upgrade right now or not, is the fact that you wouldn't have to fucking deal with the fanboy bullshit, right? Because they can't. You know what I'm saying? Like there wouldn't be any of that. Like you couldn't have there would obviously be still fanboy bullshit, but at the end of the day, it wouldn't be about resolution anymore, and that would be
exclusive.
Cool.
No, it would be about whose hardware is more powerful, or whose upgrade is going to be stronger this year, and someone
Come on
now.
It'll be the same as last year. It'll be about who has the better online, the better controller, and the better exclusive. That's what it'll be about.
Yeah.
No longer about this resolution crap.
Well, I want to go back to Mooch real quick, man. Mooch, all bullshit aside, man. Like, we're all gonna be in line with you, man, to get the upgraded console. What I was saying though, I want the plug-in part, so I could just pay $150. So, because that's just better for my brain and better for my wallet.
Right, and I agree with
Absolutely.
PKB here. That's what I was saying. Is if they're gonna do this, doing it this year would make absolutely no sense. That's basically suicide. Wait till next year.
I see a lot of people crying over it, but at the same time, you see a lot of hypocrisy, and they're gonna end up embracing it.
My thing is,
I guarantee you.
It's from a tech standpoint though, is why I'm saying it's suicide. Because look, the CPU and the graphics chipsets are severely underpowered. They were since they released on both consoles. There's nothing that you can take the place of it. They have deals with AMD. AMD has nothing that can beat out what they already have. That's why AMD is getting fucking curb stomped on the side of the road in the PC market by Intel.
I agree with you, Hellhammer, too, man. Like, I say at this E3, let's just set the groundwork for the upgradable stuff.
That's what I'm saying. Announce some information. Wait till AMD Zen comes out. It's supposed to be able to compete with the Intel's processor speeds. Do next year where they have a whole new CPU in there. It's still going to be x86 compatible. That's what everybody's also is mistaken on with everything. A lot of people are getting caught up in this, and they're thinking of this.
With UWP, you don't have to worry about it either.
Well, if say they went where you just got like a box and you plugged it into the back of the Xbox One, what would be in that box? Just like an external GPU?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would just be an
Yeah.
external GPU.
But I mean,
You
well,
gotta-
but like it says here that the PS4 it actually has like faster clock speed. You wouldn't be able to have that if you did that, would
well,
you?
here's the thing. It's not even just the clock speed though. Here's the thing. It's the instructions per cycle. So a lot of stuff, especially with the way everything is set up. I mean, just if it's just using something that's using a single core, I mean the performance of these chips are just awful. If you compare them to the in the world or in the wild variants that you get for a PC. So basically, if they wait till they get the Zen refresh or the new Zen architecture AMD CPUs or APUs, whatever the case may be, which is supposed to be late this year, early next year, so it lines up pretty well with what they're trying to do. They could easily make it so there's an eGPU or have a a PCI Express slot in the back of the car and the thing. You just slide in a new graphics card and off you go. And then that CPU, if it's decent enough, can probably get you by 7-8 years worth of upgrades.
So, do you guys think that Microsoft and Sony both came to the realization at the same time they need to do this, or do you think one of them was planning on doing it, and then through the grapevine, the other one heard that they were doing it, so they had to do it too?
I think
They
got
scared them.
spies. I think the guy that fits Yoshida for his suits is actually a Microsoft employee, and he's like, yeah, so that's interesting.
Well,
And
because
not
I'm
only-
thinking like, why would the PlayStation do this? They're at 40 million strong, as Sony likes to say, with all their sales updates. They're clearly fucking kicking ass, right? Not only in hardware sales, but software sales. Microsoft, I mean, I get the feeling like Microsoft like I've been saying for a while.
I think Microsoft was first on the idea.
Right,
of doing
because
the upgrade.
their system is so even obsolete in comparison to with the SRAM and all that shit. Like I think, and considering it was someone else's vision, it was Matrick and his boys and not Phil's.
Donnie
Phil
Matrick
took over, and I'm thinking like Microsoft wanted to start this whole gen pretty fast, but they decided to do this upgrade thing. Sony got wind of it, and they're like, "Fuck, we can't let Microsoft fucking have." The power.
Well, no, the thing you remember that executive that said about a year ago.
the
there's a
Netflix
possible.
executive.
Remember,
Yeah, but these things all take time. I mean, Tim.
my opinion, yeah, agreed. But my opinion, Sony is just trying to, basically, their focus for their whole entire for PlayStation is Sony VR, and I said this a bunch of times, and I think this is a move for Sony VR. It makes it more appealing if you can have games that can run, that could match Oculus and stuff like that. Because right now the games that they have are very low end.
Hey Tim, can I let me just say something real quick, right? Like I agree. Like I think that it's probably meant for that, but I'm not sure if it's something that's going to actually improve the graphical output, as more or less they need the frames per second to always be there because they can't take anything less than 60.
Right.
So I think that this would be just to ensure, and they actually said that they're like, we can't allow games with less than 60 frames. It has to be solid 60, not something that drops down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this might not even be something that developers for regular games are able to use. Like, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of stuff in this NeoGAF one that I don't exactly buy. And I know, like, Rand, you said that they have to, like, check their sources and stuff.
You're going
But I have to
robot
remember-
again.
God damn it!
RoboCrap.
No,
God damn it!
But with the NeoGAF thing, and I think Rand was saying that Peter Kleptic, how do you say
Patrick
his name?
Klepek supposedly is writing another article about all this shit.
I think that if that NeoGAF article is true, where they're actually going to spec for the higher end PS4, PS4.5, and you're going to have significant takeaways from the PS4 version. That's pretty screwed up in my opinion.
Like I said, I think I don't doubt that they're going to be doing the any sort of upgrade systems. That's pretty much inevitable. I mean, basically anything that come out with after this, since they're not changing architecture, is essentially just an upgraded system anyways. It's x86, so whatever they release is just the next variant of that. Just like a PC, I can go play a DOS game, I can go play a game from Windows 98, whatever the case may be, with very little tweaking. But basically, it would make sense though to wait till AMD announces their new architecture, gets their new architecture, switch to DDR4, or Microsoft can. Sony will probably still use the GDDR5, but at least this will give Microsoft a little bit of heads up, or they might even be able to put dedicated graphics memory on these things if they do, upgradable CPUs or GPUs later.
Well, plus, Tim, I mean, you need to give a reason for the hardcore to buy it. And if you come out and say God of War 4 is going to look the same on this upgraded system as the base system, then there's no reason to get the upgraded system. Do you have to give people a reason to spend money?
Yeah, but that's like
right?
that really is shafting the
Well,
that is shaft.
That
That
may
is
be,
shafting
but this may be the future of consoles, and may no longer be PS4 and then PS5.
Right, I agree.
It'll be
a segment.
Iterations upon iterations. But
listen, we're looking at it as Sony has done the first step, but realistically, Nintendo's done the first step, right? They're basically killed the Wii U off. And by doing, they did that. What? The Wii U came out in 2012. It was a year different.
They actually came out with iterations on their 3DS as well, like a stronger version.
Yeah, if you want to get technical, Nintendo's been doing this upgrade path for years now. I mean, the Wii was just an upgraded GameCube. The Wii U was just an upgraded Wii.
It was duct taped together. Yeah, that's yeah. And they also, like the 3DS, they came out with an actual more powerful one.
Yeah.
But the only thing that I don't like about that was they made it so it locked out games. Like if you had an original 3DS, you can't play certain games.
There's only one game for it because they knew that they couldn't because they can't take advantage of it, and that's why. Yeah. Here's the issue that happened with the new 3DS, and I own one. It's like I went out and I bought it day one. Actually, I bought it a couple of weeks after I bought my PS4. Actually, it was a income tax.
And what happened with your PS4? Where's that at now?
I sold it because there wasn't anything worth playing on it. If anything I want to play, I can play on PC or Xbox. That's the thing. But I mean, I bought it. I originally went out to buy the new 3DS, and then I bought the PS4 in impulse because I was like, I was itching to buy some hardware. So, the problem is that I was all excited for it, and literally only one game that I know of so far takes full advantage of the hardware. That's Xenoblades. I haven't heard anything else. I haven't read anything. I've kind of haven't really done much with it, but I mean, it's like basically, yeah, the system boots up quicker. The menu system was a little nicer. It moves smoother. But other than that, I couldn't honestly tell you the difference aside from it has a nicer LCD.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
better-looking games is how they're going to sell this, right? Like to the hardcore. Because otherwise, if Microsoft came to me and they're like, "Hey guys, we got a 1.5." And I don't care about media playback, right? I don't give a fuck about that. I care about the games. Like, you need to tell me why I need to plunk down another $400 right now for the system, right?
More.
Right. So, and I understand they're not going to make exclusive games for it because it makes no sense. They want the game to work on the Xbox One.
One of my other concerns is if they do this upgrade and they want to make everything backward and forward compatible, so say Call of Duty 25 comes out and you're playing on the Xbox 3.5 or 1.8 or whatever, and I'm still on the original on the iteration prior to that, and we're playing online. Am I gonna have a lower frame rate and lower resolution? And if you don't have a higher frame rate and resolution on the online side, then what's the point of doing the upgrades?
Well, I mean, it's just like, so these games have to be better to get the hardcore to buy it, and like you said, I mean, if I have let's just say the new Call of Duty does it, right? But the new Call of Duty is 1080p 60, but like the old version is 720 60. I don't know if that's a big enough difference for the online play, but definitely if there was a frame rate problem.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
The old version was like, if the new version is 60 and the old version is 30, like, yeah, you probably would run into a situation where
one thing I must say, not to interrupt you guys, sorry, but one thing that's been holding back this generation have been the remasters. Now, if we do get forward compatibility with a lot of these games, 360, Xbox One games, all being at its native potential resolution on these next systems, it will kill off the remaster business. Like for good.
Wait. You think Microsoft doing Gears of War Ultimate is holding back the industry?
No, I'm not talking about that in particular, but I'm talking about some of these third parties, what they're doing. Let's just say Resident Evil and all those kind of games. Like, I played Resident Evil 6 yesterday, and it looked the same as the 360.
Yeah, I have to agree a little bit with Iron Wolf on that. Because I like some of the remasters because it lets me go back and play some of the games that I may not go back and play on the 360. I have to connect it back up and everything. Like, for instance, Darksiders 2, I bought that remastered on sale, even though I own the 360
We're talking about things like The Last of Us and then the Nathan Drake collection, those kind of games. They look
I mean, those games just came out not too long ago.
But if you do games, though, like Gears, the Ultimate Edition, where they actually added different little perks and everything else into the remaster, I think that would be well worth it, because when we played it and compared it to the other one, there were so many things that were different.
Well,
And
when
then you mentioned Resident Evil 6, the new one has 60 frames per second. The old
Yeah,
one-
but how would you feel
But it's
about
still the same game, though. At
It
the
will,
end of
but-
the day.
but-
It's the same game, but how would you feel about Gears of War 3 being forward compatible at 1080p or 1440p?
I played Gears of War 3 back in the day. I could care less of Gears of War 3.
I just want new
now.
shit.
Yeah, because you want
Yeah.
more achievements. I get
No,
it.
it has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with achievements. I'm saying, like, I've played. Like, look, yes, there are some games I would play again. Like I've said, I played the BioShock again. I played BioShock Infinite.
Alan Wake, I play again.
Yeah, but like, I don't think remasters are holding back the industry. What held back the industry was the reliance on fucking making everything fucking cross. The reliance on the 360 and PS.
Yeah, but you're taking away resources.
Yeah,
That's
but
the,
no, you're not. No. I won't agree with you on that.
unless
you're
they
not
had to
taking
build
away
there from the
resources.
get-go.
No, because the people who do these remasters are port studios. The real studios like fucking
Not every single one of them, though.
the majority of them are not done by Epic had not the Coalition had nothing to do with Gears Ultimate. It was ported out to a different studio. The same thing with the
Splash
BioShock.
damage.
They're not like these remasters are made by other companies on a cheap scale.
Yeah.
While the
Blue Point did the Uncharted collection. Let's see, even Forza Horizon 2 was done by
Sumo Digital. It was
Sumo
How
Digital.
about The Last of Us?
The Last of Us was done by somebody else.
Yeah.
Was
I
that
mean,
all?
Naughty Dog worked. Naughty Dog worked on some of it to get it up to 60 frames, but the majority of that game, from what I understand, was done by a different studio.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but that's the point. That's the point. They still worked on it to some degree.
But some of those are just like studios that's what they specialize in. Like there's some like what you would consider like teammate studios, and Microsoft has some of these like that work with 343. Like they'll do. If I fucking remember the goddamn name, Saber Interactive is one of them.
Yeah,
They
Certain Affinity.
specialize,
Right.
yeah, Certain Affinity, Saber Interactive. They specialize in doing like multiplayer maps. They do multiplayer maps.
that's-
yeah, but but like Halo 2 Anniversary, that was built from the ground up. So
Wasn't it wasn't
gets
built by
my approval.
343.
Yeah,
343 had nothing to
gets
do
my
with the
approval.
Halo
I
Anniversary.
know, I get that, but that still gets my approval. Gears of War Ultimate gets my approval because it was built from the ground. I'm talking about these just straight out ports where nothing has changed.
Yeah, but
Oh,
like,
just
like
prototype.
like Deadpool prototype.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Prototype was the first one really to do it, right?
Yeah,
Well,
Prototype
yeah.
was the first one to just slap it on there and be like, we're not doing any fucking thing. Here
yeah,
you
but
go.
it was done by it was done by a studio that had nothing to do with the original prototype.
Right.
It was just here, like.
I think the reason why you're getting so many remasters is because the industry isn't healthy. I mean, you talk about, or as healthy as it once was, you talk about, Crap always brings it up with C Huge, that like there's less games being made by this generation by a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
I look through my list every day, and I got probably like 230 games installed on my Xbox One or something like that. I look through there every day, and it's almost more of the same. I've got like 2 Assassin's Creed games on there. I've got multitudes of this and that. It's like realistically, if I want to come down to it to say out of this generation, games that were only playable on Xbox One, PS4, or on PC, obviously, across that, the only game that I've truly could sit down and say that I 100% enjoyed every single part of it was The Witcher.
Yeah,
That
a
was
lot of people
literally
say that. Yeah.
Can I make an opinion? Like,
Yes.
Go for
Yeah,
it.
sure.
okay, so in my thoughts of the whole remaster thing, you also have to look at it from a business point of view. When they create these remasters, the generations that played it in the 360 aren't going to be the same generation that's hitting the Xbox One. Like, yes, there is a lot of us, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying there is a new generation that plays the Xbox Ones. For instance, all of our kids and their friends and so on and so forth. They're selling these remasters to a lot of them, if you really think about it. So in a company perspective, they're making money on people who haven't played these games before.
Well, as a business sense, it makes sense. But then you look at like one of the developers that I respect a lot, which goes back to The Witcher, which is CG Projekt Red. People have begged them to make an HD remake of Witcher 2 or the first Witcher game, port the first Witcher to consoles and do like a collection so people can go back and play them. And their exact response was,
No.
they're looking for the future. They're not looking for to bring back the past.
EA
to
said the
people
same
or-
thing. EA said the same thing because there's backwards compatibility.
And that will be further
You know-
delays for Cyberpunk
Yeah,
2077.
I don't think Ubisoft does Ubisoft do remasters?
I don't think so.
No, they haven't done any.
You know,
EA don't do them. Ubisoft
Can I-
don't do them.
Can I ask you? So we're talking about the thing. Can I ask you guys a real serious question right
yes,
now?
let's get
And
serious.
the real
with it,
serious
dog.
question is: it really seems like Sony is banking on VR.
They are.
Is this the future of gaming? Is this what we really you're going to see us
Rand,
doing
No.
10 years from now?
Rand, tell me what you were talking to me about when you first joined the room before we
Alright.
went on air.
Oh, before I joined, I was talking to crap about VR, and like Giant Bomb, who I love all the dudes on Giant Bomb, Jeff Gertzman and all those dudes. They did a launch stream of every single Oculus game, right? But like they couldn't. Number one, they had people switch out and play because they couldn't really play it. Like each one would play like 4 games, then someone else would play it because obviously you don't want to get sick. But Jeff is sitting there and he got all the games for free, obviously, review copies and whatnot. And he's sitting there. You know what? He literally just like looked at the camera. He's like, you know, if you're on the fence about this stuff, he's like, the technology's great. It's really, really good, but the games are not there yet.
Yeah.
Like the games are all these kind of like ideas or
Tech demos and stuff.
proof of
Yeah,
concepts where they're just kind of like bite-sized things. And you know, he's like, and if they were free, he's like, if they were free, it'd be a different story. But some of these games cost $20 to $30.
Yeah,
And they're just not
they're the
worth
Wii
it.
Sports of VR, basically.
Exactly. He's like, it's
Yeah.
cool. It's cool if you have this thing and you want to play it for a couple times, and then your friends come over and you have the one who hasn't played VR. Oh man, try this shit out,
Right.
and you have a fun night. But as far as like the future of gaming, he was pretty much saying like maybe, but like the actual games aren't there yet, and is what makes the platform. Like you have to have a game.
The VR is going to flop.
Let's get Richard on the VR.
It's going to flop.
We just could get a soundbite of VR.
I'm waking-
Just keep playing.
Yeah, but
It's going to flop.
I
It's going to
think
flop,
it's
and it's going to flop awful. It's going to flop something awful. And here's the reason. You have us sitting here. We just spent an hour on this show deciding whether or not we would spend $400 on improving the consoles. We've already invested all our 360 games and Xbox One games, which would play on this new console coming out possibly in the fall. And we're sitting here, we're like, $400? I don't know. Now you're going to go plunk down $400 or $500 on something that's purely a gimmick at this point. It's not proven on any level. And play no games. Who's going to go do that? Nobody.
54 cents a day.
Nobody.
Booch.
Nobody. Yeah, 54 cents a day to play no. I'm gonna sound like you to play no games.
Yeah.
You know,
Hey,
so, I mean,
I
listen.
agree.
So not only do I think this thing is gonna flop, but I want to get back to the console debate again for a second, because as much as I'm excited about what Microsoft's doing with keeping their mouths shut right now, I do. I really think that's a smart move. Just being an Xbox fan, I'm slightly concerned. I'm hoping that Phil wasn't caught, you know, with his pants down again here, because I'm hoping that Sony doing this didn't catch because Microsoft's plan, from the way I understood his February speech, okay, when he was doing his Xbox One Windows 10 a stage show, is they had a plan that the next, when we didn't say when it would have been, it could have been the Slim, it could be the other one, the next console they come out with would have the ports or the ability to have added on, you know, GPU external support. And what I'm concerned about is Sony's going to come out, and I don't know if Sony's going to have a port or not. They may not. They may have everything inside the box. And that sucks for, like, with GKB. GKB's like, I don't want that. I want something where if I buy something again, I want to be able to hook something up for $100 in the future. I just hope Microsoft has something planned. I'm concerned a little. I mean, there's excitement to say they're going to wait, but, you know.
Which I think we're still going to see a traditional console, new console from Microsoft and Sony in like 2019, 2020, something like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that makes sense. And then those might have those ports that you're talking about. But I seriously doubt if the Slims that we see has ports or anything like that, just because what's already in there is so kind of underpowered. You know, we're just stuck with it. You know what I mean? Like, yes, they can help.
Yeah,
this
I mean, no GPU add-on to the current CPUs that are in these things is going to do much. I mean, you're going to be bottlenecked severely. I mean, I can go put a Titan and a fucking Core 2 Duo technically, and it's still I'm not going to get the full effects of the GPU out of that.
Well, that guy that wrote that thing that was on GAF earlier today in Hellhammer, I think you spoke to it. Did he mention they were just going to up the clock speed? I thought I heard, or the way I read it was that Sony was contemplating putting in a new CPU.
I mean, they could potentially do that. That's what I was saying. But the thing is AMD doesn't have anything really to compete yet.
Well, what I'm saying is, if they could put a new CPU in and up the GPU, then hypothetically putting a port in would allow them in the future to upgrade the system.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. If Microsoft, these people are going to do it, that's what I said. Basically, essentially what I said earlier. They would be best to wait until AMD announces the Zen architecture, or they've already announced it, but when they actually release it, basically base it off of that. Everything's still going to be backwards and forward compatible because it's the same fucking instruction set basically on the processor and GPU. And go from there. That would be the best option.
So,
I mean, then you're looking at something that's native DDR4.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm just going to let you guys know that I'm going to have to go because I have to take care of business. But I just want to thank you, Crap, for having me on the show yet again.
Oh, no problem, man. Good times.
Tim, great to have you on the show too, Tim. Rand.
Good to hang out with you, Wolf.
You're like 5 hours ahead of us, man. I'm always thankful when you can hop in because it's like late where you're at. So.
Yeah, and Hellhammer, great to meet you as well.
Yeah,
GK,
nice to meet you.
She-Wolf.
Nice to meet you, Arnold.
It was great meeting you.
Yeah, definitely. Have a good night, y'all.
Later, Wolf.
Later.
So anyway, basically, so what I understand what Sony wants to do is remaster the PS4.
Yeah, I mean that's basically what you would have to do in order to do any kind of upgrade slots. I would feel to make it so it's efficient and makes sense.
Well, what I want to say is I don't think we're quite ready for PS4 native gaming or like gaming as native like a gaming at 4K. I don't think we're there yet. I think we'll be there in 2019 where I read something like 50% of people will have a 4K TV by then. That makes sense.
I'll say probably here's how I see. We're probably gonna have another traditional console or another version of a console probably 2018, late 2018 is what I would think.
Yeah.
Because that puts you at about where hardware prices will be to where you could do 4K or up to 4K relatively cheaply, or at around the $500 to $600 price
Hellhammer,
range.
I've always said 2018, 2019, but I will go this far. Depending on what happens with these Slims, what we're gonna find out in the next 3 months, depending on what happens with these Slims and how those sales go, will depend if it's 2018 or 2019.
Well, I mean, we don't even know if they're going to release these this year, though. I mean, honestly,
the strong rumor is that Sony wants this thing out before VR.
Well, I mean, technically, to be honest with you, AMD will have the APUs out, I think, this fall.
Yeah, but they're going to be. Those are the ones that you were talking about. Those are wicked expensive, aren't they?
They shouldn't be too expensive. The APUs are supposed to be in the budget class. I mean, we'll see. I mean, basically, if you're buying in bulk and you're not, you got to look at it from that standpoint too. I mean,
well, Tim, let me ask this to Hellhammer because we're gonna get into that. Tim, is there anybody that you spoke to in the know that's even maybe 5-6 steps down from the know that has said that Xbox is aware of it and there's at least talk that
my opinion is they're definitely doing something. Yeah.
Okay.
Phil's not stupid.
My thing is that I don't know if you're in the position that they're in, and you didn't pick your specs yet. If you just write it out and
that's what I'm thinking,
and then you just fucking blow them out at 2018.
And I think that they should write it out and then do it, because here's the thing: it's not like we're in R&D now where it's taking them millions of dollars to do R&D. These are basically just PCs in a box.
Right, exactly.
Customized PCs. So they can write it out, wait for Sony to make a move, be like, here's our finalized specs, and then just pull the fucking that out from under them.
That's more like it. Hellhammer, that's more like it, but they can't wait out till 2018.
Well, they could do the end of 2017 and announce it.
Well, they could still come out with the more powerful Xbox One that would just do like the 1080p 60 stuff.
Right.
Well, they could do an add-on. They could do an add-on, which is I think is a way to interim it. Like, you know how you have an interim manager, like in baseball.
Yeah.
You're gonna interim it at the current, do that for you, and then just fucking release a monster in 2018.
I see them doing kind of a midway thing, kind of between now and 2018, late 2018, and then doing a whole refresh of the whole system. I'm not going to say it's going to be a new console, because I think they're just, as it sits, I don't think there's going to be new consoles how people think they're going to be.
I think Phil Spencer hates the current version of the Xbox One. He sits in his room at night and he looks at it and he says, "You fucking suck, you son of a bitch." You know what I mean? Like, he's got to.
Right.
Well,
he's got to sit there.
He has to be smart about it.
Yeah.
You don't have to get all caught up and see what Sony's doing and be, oh, we gotta answer. No, you
Yeah.
don't really. You could just drop the price to $249 and then get this add-on if you want to answer it that way.
Because
and
you're
just,
still going to be playing the same games,
Yeah.
right?
yeah.
And
That's
you're still going to
exactly
be
the
playing
point.
them at
Sony
mostly.
is totally doing it for PSVR, and that's where the move is I just think you should just bet on traditional gaming.
Yes,
and
right?
then
Do what you're doing.
that's what I agree with. I agree.
Games, motherfucking games.
Yes.
GP,
thing
Gamers
is-
Go Best. You've been quiet as hell, man. Jump in.
I was just listening to you guys, but here's the thing with me is like, say Sony comes out and they do whatever specs they want for this VR thing. All right, so they're saying essentially it's going to be $500 for this new console. It's the best VR experience. You got to pay $500 for the VR headset. How the hell are they going to spin this shit? Like, they pretty much say they came out and said, "Hey, everybody out there, they got 40 million, VR ready machines, but not really. Ha ha ha. Here, get the fucking one." Like,
Drop $1,000 and buy
Yeah.
a new machine.
I don't get this at all. Like, they're not shooting themselves in the foot if they come out with this stuff. They're shooting themselves in the head. Like,
Yeah.
I don't get this at all.
That's why Sony.
Well,
That's
you
why.
also have to look at the point though where. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No.
you,
Go ahead.
You also have to look at the point. They're saying for the best experience, if by chance it's with the rumor in the 4K, who actually has a in reality, who actually has a 4K TV? So that means you have to go get a 4K TV as
There's that
well,
cost, too.
just to
But-
actually get the best experience from this $1,000 setup that you just
Well,
bought.
I think that it's not just the resolution though. Is that if you have something that's truly that powerful, even running at 4K and you down it to 1080p, which is what everybody's running, or 90% of people, you're still going to have a better experience. You're going to have a more solid frame rate on everything. I mean,
Yeah,
that's just a fact.
But how would Sony get away with this, right? Because they did say that. They're like, everybody that's a PS4 owner is VR ready right now.
Yeah,
and now they're like, hey, you're VR ready-ish,
I mean, technically they are. I mean, they can run it. I mean, maybe the games they'll scale down to where they look like the shitty PS2 games that like we've seen the demos of. Or when you get the new version, everything looks a lot better. I mean, it's just like saying.
Mooch's favorite game, Danger Ball.
Technically, the Xbox 360 and PS3, the 360 and PS3 were both 1080p ready, but you didn't see very many 1080p native games.
Nobody was even talking about that shit. It was
Oh, no,
so.
I'm just saying, though, that they're
I
technically
know.
1080p ready.
We had
It's just-
games.
it's
We had
just the
so many goddamn
craziness.
games. I did.
There's just
we had
been craziness going on since the
it's
last
nothing.
3 months. Like it's been twists and turns. But
It is. It's like, Dave, hey, I can't be the only one that feels like this talk of new hardware. It's like, okay, yes, it's not very expensive. Like you can just 27 cents a day or whatever. I got you, Mooch. But is there going to be a fraction?
I broke it down.
Yeah.
For 27 cents a day, you can save your gaming habit.
I wish I was a parody. I wish that I was a fucking parody guy because I would do like the music and like get somebody to overdub that shit for just 27 cents a day. You can get the next
You
generation.
can get the new Xbox or PS4.
Yes.
We need to make you a
Exactly.
commercial there, Mooch.
Yes.
I
See?
can do that. Okay,
But-
Jay Wims is listening. Jay, let's have an appointment after this. We'll figure it out.
Hey, good segue because I can advertise that motherfucker. Jay Williams does some great graphics, and
Amen.
apparently he's got something big on the horizon where he's gonna do intros and outros, and he's
Oh,
gonna
wow.
do all kinds of good stuff.
Did you see the one he did for Jeremy?
Oh my gosh, it was so good.
That was
I
cool.
retweeted it, man. I was like, that guy, you're big time when Jay Williams hooks you up, and I know She-Wolf, you've done some too, and they look fantastic too. But I gotta pimp the guy that kind of sponsors me.
Hey, mine are just drawings that I did and threw into graphics to in Photoshop to play around for a couple of friends.
Yeah, well, no, I saw yours. I think you did Firefoxes.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah. So and hers looks really good too.
and mine's done as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna
and-
throw out that I need some graphics done because my graphics work has gotten pretty rusty in the past 3 years.
Hey.
I haven't done it in 3 years.
go to graphic god Jay Williams. He's the guy that parties with Metallica and in his downtime. That's how he rolls. And when he's in a podcast, he doesn't say much, but you better believe when he says something, you shut up and listen. Because that's how he is. But I think Yeah, this is interesting because will people in general feel like they've gotten enough games to warrant getting a new thing? I mean, I know there's that group of people that will, but it's like me, especially with PS4, like there's a possibility I'd get a new Xbox, right? If it was slightly more, maybe, probably, fuck that. Yeah, I probably would, but with the PS4, would I mean, I only have like 8 games. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna fucking.
I feel like there's not enough games out for me to warrant buying another Xbox One at this point. I mean, within this year. I mean, to be honest with you, there's really, I mean, I haven't had any of the same experiences that I've had this generation that I had last generation on consoles. There were games.
I'm sure it's like some pretty awesome games to justify another purchase.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's games that I remember, down to like every single moment, like the big moments and stuff, and the cinematic scenes and stuff back on 360 and even on the PS3. But I look on the Xbox One, and the only game that sticks to my mind really still is The Witcher. It's the only game that's been truly next gen.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I think Quantum Break might change that. I'm hearing really good shit about this game.
Well, I mean, the thing is, Quantum Break looks awesome, and I think that's going to be a really good game. But I mean, nothing's going to. I mean, honestly, when you look at the scale though of the two games. Quantum Break's gonna be like an action game, kind of,
Yeah, that's what
go
it
through
is.
it. Right? You're gonna play through it, and you're gonna be done with it, in the 8, 10, 12 hours or 20 hours, whatever it's gonna take to beat it. Whereas I put in almost 120 hours on Witcher 3, and I'm still playing it.
Mooch has got a lifetime contract with that game. He's never gonna be done with it.
Buddy, I'm literally up to 82 hours in it, and I'm at 12%.
That's exactly what happened.
I don't know if I can give any more time or my life to that game. I don't know what at the end, the reward, I can't see it being that great.
Yeah,
well, I get into games like that. I like MMOs and RPGs, so I can play them for hours.
I'm interested in the DLC for that because I hear that the achievements come a lot easier, and
DLC though, crap, is rumored to be the length of what is it?
Witcher
The Witcher
2.
2.
Well, here's the
30
thing.
hours or
There's
something?
one set of DLC out right now. It's the hell is it? It's the Stone Hearts or Hearts of Stone or whatever the hell it is. I don't remember the fucking name of it.
Yeah,
and
the
then
next one is Blood and Wine
Blood
or
and
something.
Wine,
Right?
Yeah, the one that's out right now I've played through. It's really good. It's about maybe 20 hours long or so. But you don't have to play through the first game really to do any of that. It gives you an option that's like start at the levels that you need and the equipment that you need to play through this. And then it just basically throws some achievements at you every step of the way.
Yeah. Just changing the
I'll
subject
stick with
real
the
quick.
Division.
Yeah, the Division is really good.
That's
I'm
my
waiting-
game. I
Yeah.
have so many hours in that game.
You know what? The Dark Zone is fun, but it lost a little something when we were lower than level 30. It was fun. We could go in there and kill people and take their shit. Now that we're level 30, you go in there, you kill people, you got a whole server chasing you. And,
I'm waiting for them to release the updates and the stuff on there because
excursions.
Yeah.
We're getting that information tomorrow. And I guess so I'm excited about that too.
About a week because I got kind of tired of it after a little bit.
Yeah, well, we had maxed out those characters anyway.
I hear
but,
the Division on PS4.5 is gonna run at 4K and actually have PvP multiplayer and stuff.
Oh my god, okay, everybody, I am going PlayStation for the Division.
Wow.
Not in this house. Not in this house.
God.
let me.
My play style doesn't go by the system, it goes by the people I play with, and that's what it's always going to come down to, and the Xbox community, you can jump in with anybody and just get running, and it is so much fun. And I had friends on the PlayStation. We had the PlayStation, so you can't call me a hater. I've had it. But nobody was ever on it. It was so boring.
Yeah. It is. It's
I
boring.
think,
It's a
I
lonely
think a lot of
station.
people learn that when they come to Xbox. Like, I get a lot of these new guys, and they're like, "Oh, the community's great. Like, I'm on Xbox because I
I'll
don't know."
say I haven't
you
played a
get
game
that.
online on PS4 to be honest. I didn't really because there was nothing on there interested me. And the games that were online were multi-plats, and everybody I game with is majority Xbox or PC. So
It's just a lonely station, man.
yeah,
I have it on, and you have the system on. You sit there, and even when people come on to Xbox, Like you get all kinds of notifications.
Yeah.
They like your achievements. They like something maybe
I
you
felt
posted.
disconnected playing
There's
PS4.
nothing.
Like I wasn't anywhere. Like I felt like I was playing an old school console with new school graphics.
Every time I put my PS4 on, I feel
True.
like sad Ben Affleck music plays.
Right.
in the background.
You could be playing, like, here's an example. You could be playing UFC and you knock somebody out and you're still playing it. And then you see pop across your screen that Rand just liked your activity or that
Right.
Phil liked your activity, whoever it is. on your
Motherfucking
friends
name
list.
dropping. Phil. Yeah.
I've never gotten a like
Bastard.
anyway. I've never gotten a favorite either. So
Hey, did
I'm
you see?
still
It looks like
zero
me
on
and
the
Phil are
favorite.
cool again.
Yeah, I was happy about that.
Yeah,
It was
I
nice.
tweeted it out. I
He
took a
gave
screenshot.
me the nod, and I gave him the bro code nod back. You know? That's
That
basically
was-
how that went down.
Yeah,
But-
but basically what I was getting to is that when I was playing on PS3, it didn't even seem like it seems like the competition isn't nearly as good either. Like especially when I was on Call of Duty on that.
Oh well, we had
yeah.
one good friend, Grave, who you know, Mooch. He was on PS3, and me and Hellheimer were on PS3 as well. And we had 360s too, and we were like, we got to get Grave to fucking dump that PS3 and get a 360, man. And that's what happened, man. We were like, dude, you got to get on 360, dude. It's boss. And then he dumped it, and then he's been Xbox ever since, man. And that's just like, you know, the community, in my opinion, is just it's so much better too. I can still remember me and Mooch and South were playing the Uncharted beta, and it was just like. It was the most boring experience ever. Even though sometimes I feel like being as popular and as amazing as I am, an entertainer and all, I get a little bit too much interaction on Xbox One. Like every 5 minutes, my damn thing's like beep, beep, like people like. But however, is that not the truth?
Yeah, it's true. I think it's popping up like left and right every few seconds. I'm sitting there, I'm doing a countdown. I'm like 3, 2, 1.
That's when like when you were like all pissed off. I'm like I'm seeing this guy I see on Smite one night, like 3 in the morning. Next night, some other game. I'm like, this guy's not going anywhere. I'm like, this guy's going nowhere.
Well, you know what?
I was warning, and I'm like, what the fuck? Every game.
Well, you know, it's funny, dude, right? Like, you know, right after all that stuff, right? Like, I played it up a little bit, but I was like, you know, I did this video that was so fucking sarcastic, and nobody could tell that I was being sarcastic. You know what I mean? So I was just like, I'm just gonna go with it. It's like sometimes you overreact, man. I'm not ashamed to admit that, man. I fucking overreact a lot. Look, hey, I'm even on board today. Mooch is like, hey, we're gonna get next generation. We're gonna get consoles that plug in and with a better GPU. Look, yeah, I'm like, that's easy, man. As long as it's not some bulky thing, fine, man. Just make it like a hard, like how my hard drive is now. Which hell, it's right, man. I just plug in. I got 2 hard drives leeching off my Xbox One right now.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I've
So
got
I have to ask, the whole question, you know, bringing up Call of Duty and how everyone, you know, played it, I have to bring up the new Call of Duty in space.
Call of Duty in space, Hellhammer. You were all for
Don't
this.
get me
weren't you,
started
Hellhammer?
on this shit.
Oh
You
my
were like,
god.
this is the best thing ever.
I was all for it in the troll matter, yeah, but honestly, Call of Duty's been crap since
It's
Black Ops 1.
Destiny! Oh my god, they're going to have like a hub that's going to be like some space station that you can go to.
You can't even shoot guns in space, right?
No,
Special
they
bullets.
need like laser guns, but of course they won't have that.
Laser gun? Jesus Christ.
Sounds more like Halo to me than
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
Call of Duty's officially jumped the shark.
what are they doing? Like,
I have no
this is what
friggin'
I don't
idea.
understand. Why are developers leaving money on the floor? This will be, what, the 3rd or 4th Call of Duty in a row that's, like, fucking futuristic, right? I don't want jump packs in Call of Duty. I want
No,
straightforward...
boots on the ground, man.
Boots on the fucking ground.
I
Like,
haven't liked Call of Duty since the first Black Ops game, I'm telling you.
That's why, you know what, I'd be more interested...
Funny.
If they fixed Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2 or whatever and make them backwards compatible and they hot patch them so that there aren't other hacks in them, I'll play those happily. Any day, you know, but I played Black Ops 3, like, this is what happened. I watched these fucking videos. I'll admit, I'm a Rolling Stones fan. I hear the fucking Painted Black song, get you excited.
Yep.
I'm like, man, look, that zombies look good. Look, Jeff
Dude,
Goldblum.
I just
Telegram,
call it to the
woo!
hype myself, and I usually don't.
Yeah, I was like, man, we're getting us some fucking Call of Duty, right? And then we got it, and then fucking playing it is the worst campaign I've ever played in my life.
God, don't even remind me of that campaign. I have nightmares of that shit still.
I don't even know what the fuck happened in the game. There's like the guy screaming about blocking out the sun. There's like the worst voice acting ever, and then you're playing the game, and it's like the people disappear and show up behind you. They fucking fly you through the air. They hit you. I mean, it's just the most bullshit I've ever noticed and played in my life, and it's just terrible. It's like, I could deal with Titanfall because that was something new. You had your big Titan, and I think that's cool. So I think if Titanfall 2 comes out this year, I'll get that and skip Call of Duty.
But you also have to look at Titanfall as well. It was its game. It brought out and didn't pretend to be something else. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And it's the same with Destiny. It came out. It was about space. That's what it was. And it kind of makes you wonder if Infinity Ward was like, okay, well, we had Ghost. We kind of have to sort of stay to that line where they had the aliens and whatnot. So pretty much they have to turn around, and now all these other games like Titanfall and Destiny, and you also got like Mass Effect and Halo, they came out, they were so popular, they were space. It kind of makes you wonder if that maybe put something in their head to create that kind of game.
No, it's fucking straight up Activision. Let's be honest here. Yeah. They're like the worst freaking company in the mooch, in the word of the mooch.
The mooches.
Well, I mean, they're trying to cash in on that cash cow, though. The sci-fi shooter is the big thing. So I agree. I think that's definitely it. They're sci-fi shooter is the big thing. They're trying to cash in on it. But I'm fucking sick of sci-fi shooters.
But it's funny though, because the Division comes out and it outsold Destiny within the first day.
Yeah.
And it's what everybody wanted.
Destiny had like the worst story. I'm playing it and I'm like, what? And that Dinklebot was like, over, like I couldn't like, I didn't even like, I was halfway through the game and I was like, then the guy finally talks, your character, and I'm like, holy shit, he talked, and I had no idea what the hell was going on. I even played some of that game with War, and we're just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, you have no idea.
That was another fucking disappointment. I actually, that was one of the few games that I've done in the past few years where I actually went to a midnight launch, only to be severely disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I went to a midnight launch for something, and I told the guy I was there to pick up my copy of Little Big Planet Carding on PS3 because that released that same day. I don't remember what the hell game it was.
Shit. What the hell game was that?
It might have been Halo or something, Halo 4 or something, but I went there, and the guy that worked at GameStop was his big PlayStation fan. So I go in there, I'm like, he goes, you here for Halo? I was like, no, man, I'm here for Little Big Planet Carding, bitch. And he's like, really? And I said, no. I was like fucking with the people at GameStop, worse than you, Mooch, because I know how you like to fuck with people.
I know that kid there that used to work there. It was the big PlayStation mark. He was always fucking annoying because he's always been like this big PlayStation like fanboy.
One of the great things about digital games picking up its steam is that we don't have to go to GameStop. You don't have to have somebody who's barely like. There's a lot of people that work there that don't even play games. You can see they have no idea what they're talking about. Like someone there was talking to somebody saying, "Oh, this PS3 game is," and I'm like, "What is so great about PS3?" And they're like, "Oh, it's have you ever played The Last of Us?" Everybody's played The Last of Us. Like, why else would I buy this thing? You know what I mean? Like, they don't know what they're talking about.
Hey, Mooch, I don't mean to cut in, but I have to tell you this funny story before it kind of gets lost. I went in to trade in an Xbox One for the custom console, and the girl working there, she didn't even know how to sync the controller to the Xbox to turn it on.
Yeah,
that surprised me in the least.
One of the last times I was there, I went there for something to look at something, and the representative there was like, "Oh yeah, you could just plug in any external hard drive to a PS4 and just save your games to that, install to that." And I was like, "Seriously?" I was like, "You're gonna sell this person a fucking $150 hard drive that they can't even fucking use?"
Yeah. Well, that's pretty bad because, Sony is really lagging behind in that area. But I wanted to talk about something else real quick, too, which is the PSN Plus games for April that were just announced. And, wow, what's really interesting about this, right, Mooch, we know how biased the media is, right? Yeah. So I was watching that guy, Damon Hatfield, right? He was like, earlier when that announced, I watched his little IGN video, and he's like, Broforce was awesome, so really don't discount these type of indies. And I'm like, what the fuck is this guy smoking? And then when I watched The Fix with Naomi Titz or whatever her name is, she was like, I don't know. She goes, I don't know. This seems to me like Games with Gold is really a lot better than PlayStation Plus. I was like, holy shit, I got to tell Mooch to watch this one because you don't really see that often, right?
Well, the thing is first of all, and here's the thing, and it's not to her. She doesn't have her own actual show. She just does that Fix show, which is like, basically newsroom. These guys, these Damon Hatfields and stuff, Damon Hatfield, I think, is one of the senior editors at this point. He's climbed the ladder.
He had to. Everybody else left.
Yeah, I think he's at $23,000 a year now. God bless him. And he's literally so far up Sony's ass. That comment that he made that you just said is asinine. It's absolutely ridiculous to tell people, and that's where I'm saying you can see the bias. It's coming out now. Now that we've mentioned it so many times, because even it took a year. The first year, people were like, they don't say it to me anymore. People say, stop with the media shit. Don't keep bringing that up. It's really true, and now people are seeing it. When you have Damon Hatfield sitting there during his show Game Scoop, and he's sitting there for an hour, and he's just damage controlling anything with Sony. And some of the guys on the panel actually do say something positive for Xbox, but it gets shut down by the other two guys wearing a 1970s cardigan. You know, these, and don't get me started on the way San Francisco people dress. But, you know, the whole thing, everybody over there is wearing flannel and slippers and carrying a latte. Look, that's not life, people. That's not life. That's like an unemployed, like, tree chopper.
I hate to tell you that the flannel thing is more than just San Francisco, because that's around here, too.
Where are you?
Florida?
Wait, you guys are not wearing flannel. It's like 110 in the shade.
Oh, you remember. That's the hipster thing. So they're wearing that. They got their fucking their suspenders on or whatever. You know.
Are you serious? What's wrong with people? That's like us wearing our fucking swim trunks in January in New York.
I'm ashamed to admit, Mooch. Like years ago, like this whole area went through a fucking emo phase. It was annoying as hell. Like you saw people walking around like all fucking with nails painted, guys too. Like
those same people are now the people wearing the flannel shirts with the fucking big ass ear tunnels in their ears and shit too.
Jesus Christ! Yes, it's bad.
It's awful, bro.
Yeah, I know. My brother Hellhammer was part of that scene. He was all like gothed out. And stuff.
I was part of the music scene, but not that particular scene. Those are the people that came to my fucking shows.
One time he was getting rolled up on. We were at a show, right? He was there with his girlfriend. And these dudes rolled up on him. Were like, looked like they were about to like kick his ass or something, man. I was like, I was riding by and I was like hopped out of the car and they ran away. I was like, where are you guys going? I don't know. But yeah,
dude, that kid still has a grudge against me.
I told you, dude, I know, but they're like, those are like the punk. They look like, I don't know, I'm not gonna say queers, but they look queer.
I'm not gonna say it, but I'll say it.
I'm not gonna say it, but I say it.
Yeah. One more thing is Yoshida was on that Kind of Funny Games thing, and they asked him flat out if The Last Guardian was coming this year, and he refused to answer at all.
It's not. Another Mooch prediction. Tim, get the Swami out.
I don't know why people are so fucking excited for that game now anyways, because we see what happens when games are in development hell. Look at fucking Duke Nukem.
Yeah. That game was beast. I love that game.
We're not getting Last Guardian this year, and we're not getting Horizon. That's not. And again, if Horizon does come out, I do have a clause in my prediction. If Horizon comes out, it will be broken. Because it's not ready, but they may rush it.
Well, here's the thing, right? If The Last Guardian doesn't come out this year and say Horizon doesn't, then one of the big things that they announced that supposedly quote-unquote won them E3 last year actually came out or came true. You know what I mean? Like you have Shenmue 3, that's looking like 2018. You have Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is going to be
buy that on PC.
Which is going to be episodic. Fuck PC, but it's going to be episodic, and it's going to
play it on that than PS4.
Yeah, but it's coming to Xbox One as well.
Yeah, it is.
Oh well, I mean, for that I'll probably buy it, but for Shenmue, I think that's only PC and PS4, so I'll pick up the PC copy.
Yeah, well,
I'll make a prediction that nobody buys Shenmue. How about that?
I'll buy it.
Fuck wants to play that?
PC?
Walk around the village in your sandals looking for upside down fish that are hanging. Get the fuck out of here. Who the fuck wants to play that? I mean, you work all day, Hellhammer. You want to come home and fucking get yourself a tall adult beverage, a thing of popcorn, and sit there and fucking catch a fly with chopsticks? Get the fuck out of here.
Hey, the best part about Shenmue was working after work. Like, you know, you come home, it's like a work simulator. You move those fucking boxes, your guy's like, right? I mean,
I like the first Shenmue, and I'll play the third one just for the
I think it's a lot of it's nostalgia. I think that people will go get it. They'll enjoy 3. They'll say, I liked it, but it was nowhere near with 2.
I think it's going to be great. No, I think it's going to be an awful. I think Shenmue 3 is going to be fucking awful, but I'm going to play it.
At least you're honest.
I just can't stand the kid in The Last Guardian.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to play the game listening to him squeak the way that he does all the time.
Absolutely. You got. I'm not going to imitate it, but tune into BGSC.
Zaira
does a hell of a squeak.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not sold on any of that stuff. People were literally crying at that thing, and I'm like, you realize that's the same exact scene that we saw last time, and it's not even live. they only did that because Microsoft had such a great show. Like, you have to believe that Sony sits there and goes, we better cook up some shit just in case Microsoft has a good show. Like they did that fucking Uncharted 4 thing that one year where they're like, this is in-game, and then it wasn't. You know what I mean? It was like some CGI bullshit. And I think they're going to do the same thing with God of War 4. And, it's just all ridiculous. It's like they all try to top one another. That's why I don't really like...
They'll show a 4-second CGI clip of God of War 4.
Exactly. So, I mean, at the end of the day, people will say that... I can tell you right now, no matter what happens, Sony's going to win in the eyes of the media and the people. They're just going to be, man, Crash Bandicoot's back, woo! Thank God Sony's for the players.
I'm not going to lie, if they did a proper Crash Bandicoot, that might actually convince me enough to go buy another PS4 used somewhere.
A PS4 used, right?
Craigslist.
Well, Hellhammer's a lot like me. Like, he keeps the boxes, right? When he sold his PS4, he kept his PS4 box because he goes, if I get another one, I'll get one used, but that way I'll still have a box. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Got to keep your fucking boxes, people.
Smart move.
Yeah, I have all my boxes, but thank you guys all for joining us. Before I close out, I want to let you guys know I have She-Wolf's and GKB's, their YouTube page linked. I have Rand's TXR podcast page linked in the description as well, with a bunch of other shit linked in there. It's like all full of information for you guys, and thank you guys for joining us. Do you guys want to close out with anything, Desert, She-Wolf, and GKB?
I just really appreciate you letting us on the show, man. I had a great time, man. It was a lot of laughs.
I'm glad. What about you, She-Wolf?
Pretty much wrote the gist of. That's pretty much wrote the gist of what I was gonna say. He pretty much took it out. Thanks for having us, of course, and can also find us on Twitter as well. Just for
okay,
fun.
what's your guys' Twitter handles if you guys want to hand them out?
Mine's Desert She-Wolf. Desert has a 3 in it, so.
Oh, it's like how the cool
Xbox.
kids.
Yeah.
I had to have that because I couldn't get it just Desert She-Wolf, so I had to put the 3.
Yeah, like I'm stuck as MOH Crapgamer on Xbox Live forever because Crapgamer's taken.
Yeah, I'm XX Hellhammer because I can't get Hellhammer anywhere because that's taken apparently.
Or it's against the terms of service because it has hell at the beginning.
I don't know. I haven't
You
been
know
banned
what's
yet.
funny about that? PlayStation, I put in Serenity when I first got my gamer tags and stuff, and it would not allow me to have the gamer tag Serenity.
Well, PlayStation's weird. There's still people running around with McLovin as their name because they put that in 2007 when Superbat was cool, and here we are 9 years later, and that name ain't cool, but they got all their trophies on there, but Sony won't sure as fuck won't let them change their name, right, Mooch?
That's correct. No folders, too.
No folders either, right, Tim? Tim Dog's having him a big bowl of spaghetti or something. I don't know. But he's like, all right, hey, Rand.
I'm here.
Oh, there he is.
Yes. What were we just talking about? I just wanted to say so. I was talking to a muted mic.
About folders.
Oh, yeah, they were actually getting to show offline. Congratulations. I think it's
Welcome to 2006.
Yes, I think we... yeah. And friend notifications they just got, so congratulations.
Oh, welcome to 2005.
Very cool.
Yes,
but,
that is cool.
thank you for... I just want to stop in. Big news, and let's go Xbox.
Yes, thanks for... you're always welcome in here, Tim. No problem. And, Rand, what do you got for us, bro?
I've been quiet these past 20 because Sony just sent me a PS4.5 and I've been here in awe of this game, man. It's quite good.
Are you curing cancer while playing VR?
Yeah, I can't believe it's PS4.55 only, man. It's
I hear you're gonna go for 1 million of trophies, and they're gonna have you out on stage.
Kill
right?
me, kill me.
They're gonna dance. Yoshida's gonna dance him out there like the creator of Shenmue.
Yes.
We got a big interview tomorrow on TXR.
Who are you guys interviewing tomorrow over there on TXR?
We got Aaron Greenberg of Microsoft tomorrow.
Aaron Greenberg.
Yeah, it'll be live, on YouTube, like we always do. 3:30 Central, 4:30 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, so you guys can check this out. I have the TXR podcast linked in the description, 4:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow.
Yep.
They're going to interview the head of marketing for Microsoft Xbox, Aaron motherfucking Greenberg. That's his full name.
Yes, right.
It
And
is.
Tim's gonna ask him about the Xbox Lizard and Xbox Fire and all that stuff.
Xbox Fire.
Just
Throw in
Xbox
Crap Gamer.
Lizard.
Throw in Crap Gamer too. Tell him that Crap Gamer gives him the nod because we're cool
Tim
again.
Tim took the whole day off of work from tomorrow for this.
Well, I switched
Oh.
I took an end day where I have to work Saturday, so.
Oh,
there's
I'm gonna
always,
definitely
you know.
fucking watch that. I'll be in the chat box saying hi, kissing ass, because I want Aaron to be cool with me again, like Phil. Like, you know, it's like when you're both sorry, but you're guys, so you just gotta just kind of.
Get the nod. You're waiting for the nod.
Yeah, you gotta do the nod. Yeah, me and Phil had that moment, and now I'm just waiting for that moment with Aaron. I believe it's gonna happen. I believe it. I believe it will. What about you, Mooch? What the hell you got going on?
I got a few things I want to talk about. We got Crossfire Friday 6 p.m. We got BGST 7 o'clock, and we've got Xbox Nation next Wednesday on Crap's channel. Don't miss it. I'll be there. Who knows who I'll have on? No.
After you motherfucker did. It goes like that motherfucker.
I know. Rim dog. Woo!
When's your what does what's his name? Graphic God. Does he have any videos coming out for you?
Yeah, we're probably gonna have something out this weekend. I want to have something out this weekend. I definitely want to do something for Quantum Break as well. I don't know if I'll do a Mooch Plays or something like that.
You know what you should do is just like stream it, dude. Stream it or something like that.
That's what I was gonna do. Stream it on Twitch, and then we all know that something's coming down the pipe from Xbox. I'm hearing summertime roughly for YouTube, so looking forward to that coming too.
Yeah, that's pretty good. What about you, Hallam, or anything to close with, bro?
Oh, no, just thanks for letting me on the show here again. Still trying to get everything together to get my own channel started up here in the very, very near future.
Hell yeah, dude. That's my brother. That's my brother right there. Yeah, he's very technical with stuff. That's good. Even though most of the time when he's talking, I'm like, that's interesting. I have no idea what he's saying. It's like, what the? I just have my mouth open because I'm like this hillbilly. Like, you know what I mean? Like
those nod and smile things.
That's exactly what I do. I just nod and smile. I'm like, that's cool, bro. You know, whenever you hear me say that, that's cool, bro. It means I have no fucking idea what you just said, most likely. But hey, to each their own. And hey, we had almost 400 here watching at one time, over 100 likes already on this. So make sure you guys like that shit and head out and get to and subscribe to these people because they're very good. Even though I could tell that they were kind of in awe, just kind of enjoying how we go back and forth and whatnot. You know what I mean? But hopefully you guys enjoyed it and felt invited.
That's fantastic, Craig.
You know, yeah, I appreciate both you guys and Tim and Rand and Mooch and Hellhammer and Iron Wolf. Thank you guys, and we'll catch you guys next week. Later.